I thought that was one of the big lessons of the Second World War.
Well, as we both know, that there are no rules.
Well, is that the truest
There
thing?
are no rules, right? There are none. There are rules for us, you and me, but there are subjects for which people could be thrown in prison. A great example would be Diddy. So what happened with Diddy? I think what happened with Diddy is Diddy had a bunch of very incriminating tapes. I think, Epstein light. And I think they arrested him to round it all up, all the data. I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And the guilty party said, we got to get it out of there before the civil court gets it. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing. They could have put him away for 20 years based on what he did to Justin Bieber. Right? They didn't even get him on any of that. So it's a classic case. I know I sound like a nut case, but you've had a lot of nut cases on your shows.
I had a guy.
My brother is trying to dial me back. His day, they're going to think you're a nutcase if you talk about all the things you think about. And I go, well, I think that ship has sailed. As I said to
I thought that was the whole point of academic research was the predicate for it, the basis of it is free thinking.
Well, but according to Douglas Murray, I'm not supposed to talk about it unless I'm an expert.
Well, you are a demonstrable expert in your area. I mean,
which is not Diddy.
It's not Diddy. You're not a tenured professor of Diddy studies at Cornell.
We could have it. We do have subjects and.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right?
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Hunter Biden's laptop.
Tell me your view of Hunter Biden's laptop.
Well, Sidney, what's her name? Lawyer, come on. Sidney Powell.
Yep.
Elite lawyer. Now down a few notches because she worked for Trump and that always gets you in trouble.
Yep.
Said that if Hunter Biden's laptop were ever released, if Anthony Weiner's laptop were ever released, the government would fall. Weiner's laptop had kill switches in it. I mean, it was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watched the videos on Weiner's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. And, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide. I don't need any more information to wonder what the hell's going on there. That's one of those standalone observations where I go, that's not right. The math of that doesn't work for me. I've got pictures of Ukrainian. See, I'm going off topic. I've got pictures of known Ukrainian operatives with you're not going to believe this, with the QAnon shaman guy. I think of the horns on January 6th, at January 6th. What is that all about? I've got videos
that seems totally normal.
Yeah, totally. I've got videos
with the National Guard 100 yards away not doing anything.
I've got
totally normal.
Videos of John Sullivan, right? The guy who was supposedly Antifa, but Antifa said, no, he's a Fed. Don't talk to him. Who then filmed Ashley Babbitt getting shot. This guy's getting around. What's your image of an Antifa person? Lost soul, tattoos everywhere, right? No meaning in life, right?
Yeah, and no path forward, really. I mean,
no
these are
path
nihilists.
Forward.
These are society's dregs.
If they're real, that is. If they're legitimate.
If they're real. But I mean, if you look at the mugshots of Antifa arrest or the people who came to my house, the Antifa there, I mean, these are, obviously I disagree. They threaten my family. I don't like them and all that. But you also feel like these are like one step above homeless. Like these are losers. Yeah.
Right. And so if he's Antifa, it's really odd that he was a nationally ranked cyclist.
Are you serious?
What I know about nationally ranked anythings is their lives have purpose. Now there's a mugshot. Did you follow this Patriot Front story? This is now the helmet's on, the leash to the jungle gym is on. The Patriot Front guys, those guys who'd stomp around looking like neo-Nazis, who also were buff and had no pot bellies and covered their faces, and get arrested, and they're handcuffed with their backpacks still on and their megaphone still over their shoulders, and then I saw mugshots of them. Not a single tattoo.
Yeah.
No tattoos. These are neo-Nazis. Not a single tattoo.
They didn't have like Waffen SS lightning bolts on their cheeks.
Swastikas, right? So we are in this big Walter Kernish. We're in this made for the internet plot. Walter is great in his description of I've been tracking the Mangione story. It's not the right story. There's something wrong. And Walter laid it out. Now, what Walter didn't say is who's behind him.
That's obviously the question. I mean, you can look at all of these different stories, particularly the acts of violence, which are, because they are acts of violence, are, examined much more closely than any other kind of act. And it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the shooting of Trump a year ago in Butler, Pennsylvania.
I wrote about that
sense.
Too. Everything. Do you know what I just read the other day? The guy who shot Thomas Crooks, right? There were bullets flying all over that place, but it was a catastrophically poorly set up defense of Trump. But the guy who shot Thomas Crooks was the same guy who organized the protection of Trump. And they say, he didn't get convicted of anything and other guys didn't. I go, well, so the guy who was in charge of making sure that after the assassination was done, he popped the assassin, is somehow not getting prosecuted. Why am I not shocked?
So you're saying he was the Jack Ruby figure here? He
was the Jack Ruby figure, yes. So what was odd about that story? Well, first of all the news agencies were there. This was a totally irrelevant rally in an irrelevant place, Butler, Pennsylvania. And there's a stranger story there. And again, I just pick up these shards and sometimes they fit together into a story and sometimes it's just put it in your head, keep it there until you get more detail. There's a guy sitting behind Trump named Joseph Fusca. Fusca is his last name. I've seen him before many times. He was, by the QAnon guys, which are a bunch of whack jobs, said to be, you're not going to believe it, said to be John F. Kennedy Jr. waiting to come back and save the world. And I'm going, oh, you guys have lost your minds finally. You've really gone. It doesn't matter that that's a total crock. Fusca is this guy, and they say now his name is Fusca and whatever, blah, 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 blah. But he's one who supposedly is JFK Jr. in disguise. Fusca was there sitting right behind Trump. I go, of all the rallies, there he is.
Who is he?
I don't know. And what's really interesting, Trump gets shot, everyone's reacting, and Fusca's not. And then there's two pieces of footage. Now,
when you say you've seen him before, you've seen him in photographs before?
Oh, he had been talked about. I've dug down some deep rabbit holes and find this guy. So one of the things you discover, this as well as anyone, you think you're going down a rabbit hole and you discover Göbekli Tepe. You get down the rabbit hole and you go, there's an entire ecosystem down here that people don't know exists. Once you, it's like once you ask, how did Kennedy get killed? And you go, oh boy, that's troubling, right? And then Building 7, in which you talked with Ron Johnson, who, by the way, was in our Doc Zoom group, right? When I'm talking, we had everyone. Once you go on one or two of these, then you go, I can't trust anything. And I work in a field where you're supposed